Hi everyone, warm welcome back to Gillian at Mystic Healing Therapies. Well, it's a beautiful day here on planet Earth. The sky is blue, the birds are singing. Today's video I'm going to talk about our weather systems and how we as humans have got the power to impact on that. Alright, so yeah, I'm always saying to you that we are magical creator beings, and this extends to so many areas of life, but the one that I'm going to talk about today is the weather. So the weather, you know, if you think about it, we'll say things like, oh, I've been battling the elements. You know, if there's a day where it's a rough day, we'll say, oh, I've battled the elements today. Well, that gives a clue really. The weather is elemental. You know, the weather in itself is a consciousness, and the consciousness of that are the elements. So, you know, the wind elements, the fire, all of it, it's on an elemental vibration. So many of you might know that Native Americans used to do a rain dance if they needed it to rain, and they could influence the weather in that way. Well, I'd like to extend to you all that we can all influence the weather in whichever way we want. And I know that sounds ridiculous, and there are things going against us which I'll come on to talk about in a minute. But firstly, I just want to sort of explain how I would use my creation as a human being to bring about weather conditions that are favourable for me. So I always used to joke and say, when you go on holiday, you get the weather you deserve. Well, we don't have to be passive in this. We can actually help to create our own weather, what we need. So if you've got a specific celebration or wedding or a party or something that you're planning to have in an outdoor space, what we do is always imagine that day that's going to be beautiful and calm and good weather. So, you know, if let's say we're going on holiday to sunny Wales. We love Wales in the UK, beautiful place, but it's renowned for raining. Before we go there, we always say, oh, we're going to have lovely weather in Wales. We're going to have fantastic weather in Wales. So for a good couple of weeks before we go, we're always telling each other how wonderful the weather's going to be, and we imagine sunny blue skies and calm winds. So we put it out there to the universe that that's what we want. And you know, I've had really nice weather in Wales. Yes, I have had rain as well, but that's what makes the landscape beautiful. But you know, we can create, if we're having a family party, my son likes to have parties and we have them in the garden. We always say, oh, we're going to have a wonderful day for your party, aren't we? And we envisage the weather, and honestly we do, we get it. Even on bonfire night when we have those parties, the rain will stop and we'll get a couple of hours where we can let the fireworks off and stand by the fire, because I truly believe we can create it if you think it. So another thing we can do, getting on to the more technicals of this, if weather is consciousness, then we can directly communicate with consciousness. So if ever we get really windy days, which we get a lot of in the UK, if we get days where, you know, people's patio furniture are blowing around in the sky and things like that, what I do, you know, I've talked about it before, I put the 5D pyramid around our home, so it creates a force field, which is on a previous video that I've done. But also what I do, I'll speak to the air elementals. So if it's windy, it's the air elementals, and I'll speak to them and I'll say, thank you for doing your job, because you know, they do a good job. But I'll say, I honour your work, but please pass through our property with grace and ease. So I'm asking them to travel through this pyramid of force field that I've created with grace and ease. So then, you know, neighbours might have tiles come off the roof and stuff, but I've communicated with the elementals and we're far less likely to. So you know, when you see these stories of forest fires and there's one house left touched. I think that's because the consciousness of the people living there, they've protected it by communicating with the elementals and asking them to, you know, if you honour them and communicate and ask them to pass with grace and ease, then they will do. So as a collective, if we hear that there's going to be a storm, or you know, in the US you get hurricanes and things like that, earthquakes, wildfires, what we can do is, in our consciousness, if I hear there's a wildfire somewhere, I will communicate directly to the fire elementals, the salamanders, and say, I honour your work of purification, but I send them love and light and calm them down. So we can all do that. You can send your own love and light from your heart centre directly to the elementals to calm them down, and send love and light, because, you know, if we calm them down, it takes the weather patterns down a peg or two and makes them less devastating. You know, sometimes they do a job, but now what I'm going to talk about is how the dark forces have used this against us. Well, some of you might see, if you follow me on Facebook, I'm very vocal on there about things like, I've got to be careful what I say on YouTube, the aeroplanes that spray us and leave things in the sky, trails, lines in the sky by governments that are spraying us with products. I'm just going to say that because I don't want to trigger the words. Like I say, I've already had a strike on here. So what they're doing, and the HARP, like the musical instrument, the harp, their weather things actually work with the elementals and get the weather to work against us. We all know that, you know, the flooding and the erratic weather patterns can be created by the dark forces. Getting back to those things that the aeroplanes put out, we can rise above that. Whenever I see one of those in the sky, I've done a video on this as well, I'll link it below. I know some of you have watched it, but some of you won't. Whenever I see one of these, I actually say to it, I do not consent, I do not consent, I do not consent, because I don't consent to that in the sky. If we actually say it out loud, I do not consent, then you are putting it out there that you don't consent. And this is a very good mantra that you can all use. If you see some weather patterns like that, the aeroplanes going over, and it gives you a heart sink, your vibration might drop a bit, just say, I do not consent, I do not consent, I do not consent, because there's always a power in saying things 3 times. But then what you can say, and this is a really good mantra, we are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. We are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. We are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. So that's what I do to cloud bust those things in the sky. And, you know, it really works, honestly. Last year, a friend and I, we were paddleboarding on the river, and we saw the planes go over, and we both projected very strongly, we do not consent, and we are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. Excuse me, we are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. And I'm not kidding you, the chems actually stopped. There was a break in the chems, and we laughed about it, and we tried it again, and honestly it worked. So imagine it's a collective, we're all saying this, we aren't consenting. We are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. We are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. We are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. Then we don't have to consent to it. Now, I do believe that a portion of these are probably good now, but absolutely, truly, where I've been in Derbyshire, some of them really aren't good. And I know that there's a big thing whenever any, you know, like Terry by Janine's, she says they're largely taken over. I agree, some of them are, but if they aren't where you live, you know, we still need to be doing this. We do not consent, we are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. We are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter, because it really does have an effect. Okay, so to recap then, you are a magical, beautiful being. You can use your own magic as a creator being to create the weather you like and want. If you've got a party or a wedding or something, imagine that day as being a beautiful day. Imagine the weather you want. Put it out there to the universe that that's what you want. And you are far more likely to get it if you ask for that. If you've got a storm or a hurricane or a fire, wildfire coming your way, sit down, tune in, communicate with the elements, thank them and honour them for the work they're doing, and then send the love to calm them down, to bring it down, to calm it down. So that's what you can do. And if you've got the aeroplanes in the skies that you're not happy with, we are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter, we are stronger, we are brighter, we are lighter. So anyway, I'll leave you with that. My new online workshop, so you get an hour's recording of the workshop and then a PDF to go with it. That's available on my website, gillianengland.com. If you've not already subscribed to me, please do, and look for my Telegram channel. And I hope wherever you are, you're enjoying this beautiful sunshine, because it does us all the world of good. Lots of love to you. Bye for now.